When we think about the history of our planet, the first thing you probably thought of were dinosaurs. Maybe you thought of the story of Adam and Eve, or if you lean more towards science, you probably think of the Big Bang. Regardless of how life started, we have no true recollection of how this planet functioned exactly. We only have fossils and scriptures dating thousands of years back, and we can only hypothesize on how life was, but unless we have the ability to travel back in time, the modern human can only assume. Generations pass and we continue to grow old as a collective, and younger generations take our seats at the table. With each generation comes a different story. Generations experience our evolution as more and more people enter and exit this world. For example, millennials got to experience life before social media and smartphones, while Gen Z grew up with technology. Our ancestors have not experienced these breakthroughs in particular, but they probably experienced one of their own. Of course, as time progressed, those breakthroughs probably are either irrelevant or evolved for our convenience today. The breakthroughs and shifts we experience today may continue to advance, and as time goes on, who really knows what life will be like in the future? Going back to the topic of dinosaurs, we can see some similarities to us as humans if you really think about it. We already know that the T-Rex was at the top of the food chain, being the most feared in the prehistoric era. What if the T-Rex today symbolizes the top 1% of the human race? T-Rex being the most feared, like the top 1% holding the most power. People argue that the top 1% is in control of all our finances, like how the T-Rex was pretty much in control of the entire food chain. Resources that all the dinosaurs relied on for survival are similar to the resources we need to survive. And of course, from the top we work our way down the financial structure. With more money, you hold more power than those below you. Maybe people and dinosaurs are more alike than we think. Now what's left of the dinosaurs are the bones and fossils from that era. We studied them, developed a hypothesis, and rode with it simply because we can only assume what caused the mass extinction. Whether it be an asteroid that impacted the Earth or climate change, it only raises more questions. We can say that the world reset itself. The world-ending comet, the Great Flood, Ice Age, etc., all a part of our mysterious history, and consciously civilization has rebuilt itself time and time again. More evidence suggests that there is a possibility that humans lived a lot longer than we assume, but again, we end up hitting a dead end only to be left with more questions. Major catastrophes occur all around us. Some are so catastrophic that we are forced to migrate or rebuild. It is almost like we are ants, and these events are kids playing in the park, knocking down our anthill. Ants collectively rebuild or migrate to rebuild elsewhere, very much like people come together and rebuild from the damages sustained. Animals nest in environments in which they feel is safe for their families, very much like how, in most cases, we are selective with where we choose to call home. You can ask how many times the world came to a reset and civilization was forced to rebuild from an event so devastating, or how, if any, humans adapted after these events like the Ice Age. How many people adapted between eras, forcing themselves to condition with the world? Was it a struggle? Was it easier for some than others? Were there people who were prepared and lived on to continue populating? A consistent yet steady evolution, like whales who used to roam the earth, now roam the deepest of oceans. Fast forward to the modern era, we find dinosaur bones and fossils and we make good use of them. Now we're transitioning to using solar energy, but not before we have used up all our resources. Not to mention that those fossil fuels are the reason for climate change. The very sources we use are the ones that are destroying the world. It's interesting how it all comes full circle. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button so others like yourself can enjoy it too. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell icon for more introspective videos, and don't forget to share with your friends.